5-mile-an-hour gusts around noon today. So the idea is to try and get as much of the final racing in this morning as we can, and then hope the weather holds up so we can get some of these second and third finals in as the day goes on, give everybody a chance to compete today who came out. But early on, we're starting off with some of our premier finals, the varsity singles in men's and women's, followed by the varsity eights Division I in men's and women's. So should be a really fun start to the day, 7 a.m. Hope you're up for it.
Yeah, that's actually true. And you know what, again, because we are anticipating a little bit of wind and from a direction that can be very difficult, very exposed here at the stake boats, we could either have, again, we're not entirely sure yet, could have a quick start or a standard start. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to start seeing early on in the day. So again, a quick start is where hands are not recognized and referees or officials will get the boats off the water, or excuse me, off the stake boats as quickly as possible without recognizing hands, just because the wind is blowing and they just need to get everybody aligned and off the stake boats right away, versus the standard start. So we'll see if anything starts to change up at the top, and we'll keep you posted. But right now we've got this beautiful shot from the drone looking at a 6-boat beautiful race here. Yeah,
it looks like we've got all 6 boats sitting ready here, just about to get started, and they are off in the women's varsity single final for the Dave McCormick Trophy. From right to left on your screen here, we have in lane 1, Marietta. Lane 2 is USC. Lane 3 is Trent. She's the favorite. Lane 4 is Oklahoma City. Lane 5 is Jacksonville. And in lane 6 is Thomas Jefferson University. So this rower from Trent, she had the fastest time in qualifying yesterday, and then she had the fastest time in either of the 2 semifinals, winning her specific semifinal by nearly 50 seconds yesterday. So look for her, and you can see already within the first 200 meters here, she has opened up a fairly significant lead.
Yeah, that's right. And let's give you some lane assignments here too. We are through the 100-meter mark. It looks like we've had a clean start, which means we are through 100 meters without any breakage or mishaps. That does not include jumping your seat. So if you do that, that is on you. Lane 1, Marietta. Lane 2, Southern California, so USC. Lane 3, Trent. Lane 4, Oklahoma City. Lane 5, Jacksonville, and lane 6, Jefferson. And right now it looks like your current leader is Trent in that gorgeous green boat here in lane 3. We will jump back to what looks like Southern California, USC, and very, very evenly matched there. Race for second place is going to be Oklahoma City. And then we will jump back to a challenging, actually I'm going to look at Jefferson on the outside. Jefferson and Jacksonville, and then Marietta, almost in a dead even heat. 3-boat heat happening back there behind the top 3.
Yeah, so Oklahoma City and Southern Cal faced off in their semifinal yesterday. Oklahoma City came out on top by just about 4.5 seconds, so not too much of a difference between those 2 boats. We'll see how it plays out. Looked like USC had the early lead there through about 350 meters, but as the race progresses, we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, here is your leader from Trent. She's 500 meters into this race, 1,500 meters left to go in this 2,000-meter race course. Looking really strong so far, and you see there just how large her lead already is.
Yeah, that's right, and she's rowing at about a 30. Some of her competitors right behind her are rowing at about a 28 or so. So she is lucky right now to be in this position. Well, lucky, I say. We also say skill, because this is an incredible row that we're seeing here. And right behind her, she is looking at the entire field. So this is a very commanding lead from the Trent rower. Fryer here is her name. So very impressive row here from Trent, followed very closely by USC in lane 2 and Oklahoma City in lane 4.
And again, competing for the Dave McCormick Trophy here, our first trophy race of the day at the Vail Regatta. Again, if you're just joining us, the schedule today has been inverted due to some weather concerns. You can see there, it was a little bit more apparent on the drone shot than it is here, but there are some waves out on the course. You can see it there. Just a little bit of rippling going on. Nothing too bad there, definitely manageable, and you can see the boat from Trent there is managing it quite nicely so far. So, in this type of, weather, what kind of things are you seeing out there early on, Whitney?
Yeah, that is a great question here. It's about 50 degrees, and we're looking at about 10-mile-an-hour winds or so, with expected higher winds. So again, we're really glad to be getting these races in the small boats off of the stake boats a little bit earlier in the day. And it looks like from that beautiful shot that we had from the drone, she is actually steering straight down this course. She's doing a really, really phenomenal job here. What we call thread the needle. She's going right down the middle of the course here, and we see a little bit of steering corrections in those other two lanes around here, but very, very minor. Again, very difficult to do in a single, especially when you have the glare on a little bit of that chop in the water, and they're trying to use the buoy lines as those guides to get down the course straight. So looks like our rower from Trent has moved off to the starboard side just a teeny bit, a little bit closer to that buoy line. Perhaps she will figure that out and get centered again, but again, not too much for these athletes to worry about quite yet. They've taken quite a few strokes in these boats at this point.
Yeah, just about 1,000 meters left to go now for our second place, and it looks like Oklahoma City has moved into second place here, but only just about a seat or so in front of the boat from Southern California. So those three currently in podium position in the women's varsity single event. You can see here now in that third 500 between those two big red buoys where the boats are. That is 1,000 meters to 1,500 meters on this race course there, where our boats currently are competing.
Yeah, that's right. And we're looking at this great shot here all the way down the course. And if you are looking at the screen now, if you're not, you should be. Go to dadvail.org to follow along with the live stream here. And we're looking at this lane 3 with a very commanding lead, followed by USC in lane 2 and Oklahoma City in lane 4. And Oklahoma City in lane 4, too, just to note, was in the double last year. So she's a sophomore that's actually racing this year in the single. So a very impressive performance against some very strong scullers here. Oklahoma City doing a great job out in OKC Riversport, coached by legendary rower Brian Volpenheim. Multiple-time athlete and Olympic champion, so he's doing great things building up the small-ish program that is out there in OKC. And clearly this very young athlete has many years to go out on the course still, but right now doing a great job hanging with some of the best of them. Yeah,
and it looks like she is currently in second place and starting to push that lead just a little bit as they make their way through this third 500, trying to set herself up for a final 500-meter sprint here. And you can see there the red buoy line approaching for our lead rower from Trent here, and she enters into the final fourth of this race right there with no one in sight at the moment. And a really calm row here. You're just seeing a rower totally picking it down the course right now. Not a lot of check in this boat. Every time she goes up, she slams down her legs and drives the boat through. An impressive race so far for the rower from Trent.
Yeah, that's right. And here we are looking at, again, the entire field here. You can see a little bit of ripple on the water. We're looking at the Trent athlete here. She is rowing at about a 30, so that is Fryer. In lane 3, and then again followed by USC and Oklahoma City. So Oklahoma City I'm going to give the advantage to. USC is a crew that we don't see too often out here at the Dad Vail. A lot of Southern California crews where I hail from, we don't actually get to see a lot of crews from, so it's great to see some of them out here. USC has had a great year as a team. They're doing a great job. They've had some coaching changes, but they have had a pretty strong season, so we should see some good rowing from them. I would expect nothing less, even in the small boats, which is kind of fun to see. Usually we see USC in the 8s and the 4s. Just about 200 meters left to go here for our leader from Trent as she tries to put the finishing touches on her performance here for the Dave McCormick Trophy. Really impressive. And obviously, as we see the conditions here, a little bit choppier than yesterday. Yesterday we had a very flat course, and the rain kind of helped to settle some of that down. Today we're dealing with wind, a bit of a different beast, and as it gets windier throughout the morning here, we'll keep an eye on these conditions. But a lot of these rowers have had to deal with these conditions throughout the spring training season, so it shouldn't be too different for many of them as we come to the finish line here in our first race at the 86th annual Jefferson Dad Vail Regatta, and the winner of the Dave McCormick Trophy
is the rower from Trent. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's a really impressive row here. Again, she finished this at a 30. I'm not even sure that we saw a sprint from her. That was a commanding lead from the start. She did a phenomenal job hanging on to that, and if not, opening up the gap a little bit more. So on our screen, you can see the waves and the wind starting to pick up again a little bit across the buoy line there as we wait for USC in Oklahoma City. Looks like Oklahoma City here popping up onto our screen, finishing in second. Again, that sophomore from Oklahoma.
Yeah, so Oklahoma City takes the silver there, followed by the Trojans of Southern Cal finishing bronze here in the women's varsity single event. Winning time by Trent there, 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
And again, of course, we are just calling it as we see it, but make sure you are going to dadvail.org to get all of the results and follow along with the live stream